Hello, class. How are you this fine day? I see we have a few members missing. I guess the old devil flu caught up with some of our people. Nevertheless, we're going into a new era as far as the training is concerned. You'll remember that up to this point, what we've been doing is exposing you to all sorts of situations based on what you see on film and what you see on the boob tube. Now we're going to move into a different range of exposure. We're going to present you with real people that are going to present you with problems, I must assure you. If you'll just look behind you for a moment, you'll see the scene of our first episode. You may recognize that's Tully Gym. And what we're going to describe, I think, once you've got this clearly fixed in your mind, can best be done while you have your eyes closed. So if you'll turn to me, please, and close your eyes, and please concentrate on the picture I'm going to try to paint for you. It's Tully Gym, and it's registration time. And this is something that's happening a few months in the future. What has happened is that the computer has goofed, and just twice as many students as can possibly be accommodated appear before the registration booths. Some administrative character has permitted the situation to simmer and simmer for hours, and then when things appear to be on the very verge of a riot, he has made an emergency call to security. Send people down at once. A riot is about to break out. Now, please keep your eyes closed and continue imagining what's going on. There's a lot of noise in the background. You hear the noise of tinkling glass. Nevertheless, the chief has instructed you to calm the students down as best as you can and keep your head. Do you hear that noise in the background? All right, gentlemen, open your eyes. There's your problem. There's a mob milling around, and you have to do what you have to do.
I've been here since 9. What's the big deal? I don't believe it. It's a fuck up. I swear. I came here. You know, I
it's just bullshit. They always pull, you know?
Well, I had it. What time do you have?
I pay $190 for this shit.
Yeah, $190. They raise it. I ain't better registration last
more
quarter.
money.
I was paying $150. I'm paying $190.
I've got a whole lot to do today. I know about you guys on my apartment sitting there.
I gave up. I gave up.
Yeah, well, if they don't open the door soon, I'm going to break in myself. I'm telling you that right now.
Well, why don't we use some force then? If nothing else can be done, let's do something about it.
Well, all right.
What are you going to be here all day?
I mean,
wait a minute. What are you going to?
Well, let's just go in.
Why don't we just push? I mean, if we get together and all push, somebody's bound to give up front, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That's true.
So that's what we should do.
All right, enough talking. Let's get in there. Might as well.
These characters are about to break into the gym. Let's see what you're going to do about it. All of you are on duty now. When you get up, move your seats all the way back.
If we go like together,
There's no reason. We've been here waiting just as long as they have. There's no reason why we should just...
All right, come on.
Come on, let's get in there.
Hey, listen, can you guys help us? We gotta get in there.
Hey,
My
look.
schedule says that I'm supposed to be here 9
Yeah, what is with you?
Big deal, man. Staying here for 6 hours.
Can we have one spokesman? Yes, sir.
All right. We've been here since 11 o'clock.
I've been here since 10:30.
All right, since 10:30, that's 4.5 hours, and we're
He's been
tired.
here
We gotta
since
go
quarter
home.
of
We feel
9
sick.
o'clock.
It's cold. It's raining. We want to go in and get this over with and get out. There's not that many people in there now.
Yeah, come on.
Why do you schedule this everything? It's taking us to the side, man. It's cold out here. It's the same thing all the time too. Why do they schedule everybody if they're going to take us
I don't
in?
understand what is going on.
All right. I mean, could they make? All right. He said okay. He said okay. He said okay.
Let me explain.
All right. He said okay.
Now, inside they have a problem. They've always had a problem. They're running a couple of hours late. The best thing for you
Couple,
to
my
do
God.
But there's
is to
nobody
go
in
home
there.
and come back tomorrow.
There's nobody in there. We've been out here for hours and there's nobody in there. Why can't you just let us get away?
We're not letting anyone in. We've got all the papers and the IDs and the cards and
I
everything.
even got my
We're
cards
gonna miss out on
closed.
classes.
You're supposed to be able to register after your time anyway. This is the
I've been drunk 3 quarters. I haven't been able to get. I'm not going to be able to graduate.
Look, I'm tired and hungry.
You know, give us a break. Just
Can't you find out? Why don't you go in there and find out? You're just giving me a rap. You've been standing here like we have.
Can we at least just go inside in here and sit down for... I mean, look, it's raining out here. It's cold.
I don't know, maybe you like to stand in the rain. I'm not too crazy about it.
And come back tomorrow.
Go home.
Come back tomorrow.
I'm not going to
Don't you understand? Class the last quarter.
What are we going to do today? What are we going to do? We can't go to tomorrow.
Well, you can't. These cats are so stupid.
You can't go in.
So now you explained it. Nothing's happening. Big deal.
$90.
Look, the situation is this. There is like nobody in there. We are out here waiting. I'm not going to be able to graduate if I don't get my courses. Why can't I go in? Now, come on, why can't I?
The fact is you cannot go in. We've told you, and you're not going in.
Well, I'm going in. I'm
You are
tired
not.
of this shit. Hey, man, come on.
Hey, wait.
Hey, what
It's
the
on
fuck
my
kind of
arm.
shit is that?
Fine.
What kind of shit is that, touching a chick like that?
All right, now listen.
Hey,
Listen, this is...
yeah, that's a pig for you.
Oh, screw you, man.
Oh, shit.
Hey, how much of that 190 you people get? Is that it? You getting a big cut to keep us out of here or
Now let's be
something?
rational about this, okay?
All right, let's be rational. Okay, be rational. We're all hungry. We're tired. We're sick. We want to go in.
All right. First of all, we have been informed by the administration there is some problem with the computer. Okay, now, the computer's broken down. Therefore, we have been instructed that no one will enter this building. Now, that's what we're out here for, and that's all we're going to do. Now, if you've got a complaint, you take it to another authority, but we do not have that
That's just
authority.
pass the buck. That's just exactly
Okay, now the
what
computer's
True, okay,
broken.
I
Where's the
agree.
computer going to be?
Okay,
Is the computer going to
passing
be
the
fixed
buck, I
tomorrow?
agree, but our job is to stand here and stop you from coming in, and that we're going to do. Now, if you got any other complaint, go to higher authority. We're not.
All right,
There we go.
Okay, gentlemen. Bring the chairs as close as you can to the platform here, and let's get going.
Next time somebody else stand for her.
What we'd like to do now is to see what goes on within ourselves when you're caught in that kind of a damnable situation. Anybody want to start the ball rolling? What'd you say, Ron?
They do their job real good. They really upset you deep. You'd like to do things, but you wouldn't do. I'm not saying you would do it, but you'd like to.
What would you like to do, Ron? What do you mean?
I don't think I'd like to maybe take her and shake her, say, listen, let me say something, because it really upsets you.
What do you mean upset? I don't know. What do you mean?
Emotionally. You might
What goes
say.
on in your gut?
How do you feel about it?
I was burning in my gut because there was a problem. It didn't seem like they could understand. I mean, I understood their problem. It didn't seem like they could understand. They wanted to go in no matter what. And seemed that they, had some set irrational was their mood.
Their mood was irrational, but what you were feeling emotionally, you would label irrational also, right?
It's true. I won't disagree with that. But I've got upset several times, but I control it. Not saying I don't get upset.
Right.
I control it. But there was no reason to make an arrest there or anything. I think it went good just the way it did.
Mm-hmm.
Don't push it unless,
How much further would they have to push you to make an arrest?
I think if the situation was real tense, they'd have to do a lot. I mean, a whole lot to make me.
But one thing in a situation like that, you try to really avoid an arrest because an arrest would spark, and you got more people that's sympathizing with the initial starter, you may say.
How did you feel when they started pushing in?
Well, I felt that I was going to stop them.
Now, how did you feel about it when they
When they
started
was gonna
pushing
push
and
in?
calling you names and pushing on you?
Well, the pushing doesn't really matter, but it's when you try to pass me that I have to do something. And this is my point.
What
This is my point to act. As long as they push me, well, I'm not the door, so to speak. But once they're going behind me,
Is that a
then that-
statute you're quoting me, or is that the way you felt?
this is how I feel.
All right.
If it had been a male now, it might have been a different thing. A female, maybe I'm inward. I don't want to hurt. I don't want to. If it had been a male now, I
I might have even arrested that person. I don't know how I would have really done, but the female's a little different. Some way.
No, why wouldn't you have arrested her? If she's doing the same thing that a guy is doing, why wouldn't you have arrested her?
I don't know. I really don't. Yeah, that's inequality of the law, you might say, but it's something different. I don't know.
It's more the inequality of your emotions, your feelings.
Yeah, true.
What we want to do is give everybody a chance in each one of these episodes to have something to say, and I do want to make sure I don't skip anybody. So if we're coming to the end and I haven't given you a chance to talk, for heaven's sake, blurt it out, speak it out. Jack, you have any reaction to what happened here?
Well, first of all, our assignment was to stop these people. Now, I can understand the feeling because I waited in a lot of lines and I felt like pushing people over at registration. I can sympathize with them. But our job was to stand there and not let them in. And like I told the young lady, that we're not responsible. We have the job to not let you in. If you want to complain, you've got to be, then you go to higher authority. And that was my feeling. I mean, we were going to stop them. But as far as being sympathetic with them, I mean, I can see their point. I mean, you stand in line for a few hours and it's cold and everything.
Jack, could you see their point of the name calling, of the physical contact, of the abuse that was being pointed at you and the rest of the
well, I mean, it wasn't big. Okay, all right, true. I mean,
Did you react in that way?
I'm the closest thing that can be pushed. I mean, I'm representing authority. Is what I'm representing. Okay, therefore, when they're pushing me, they're pushing not really me personally. They're pushing the authority I represent.
Well, anybody hasn't spoken yet, AL? I don't think we've heard your...
I believe to single out a spokesman for their group and also single out a spokesman for ours, who would be whoever the ranking individual is. I can sympathize with Ron's point of view. He's probably the biggest man we've got and the instant target. Because if he does react or overreact, then the other person is more easily described as a victim and able to play up the role. You have to just take the verbal abuse and set the line and don't say anything you can't back up.
I think it's a very good note on which to finish this particular episode. Now we move on to another scene. Can we have the next slide, please? Yeah. Now, if you'll take a look, you'll instantly recognize Westcott's building. And do you have, that's a building just about a block and a half from here. Will you fix that in your mind? Okay, now will you please turn around, close your eyes, and I'd like to describe a situation that may not altogether be a matter of imagination. Think ahead a few months into the future. We're in the midst of the presidential campaign. And on campus has arrived a candidate who's not altogether popular with the local militants and activists. And the Diamond Auditorium is packed, but a number of people are going to try to force their way in. And your instructions from the chief have been that to avoid a riot, nobody else is to be admitted into the auditorium. You get the picture.